Okay, I wanted to follow up on that because we've seen how rhetoric has changed activity at the southern border, especially with illegal actions. When you have a country or an administration that appears to be more friendly to immigrants, more people are coming in seeking asylum. Whereas, when former President Trump was in office, we saw a decrease in that type of immigration. So I guess I would wonder how that balances out if you pitch the United States of America as something that is way more favorable to immigration. That doesn't lead to more people trying to come in illegally.
Look, there's a study that just came out a few couple of months ago by Danny Bahar at the Center for Global Development, and he did a really interesting study just looking at the time series of unauthorized entries along the southern border, and then trying to see, well, what is the biggest predictor of those pulses, right, that we face every once in a while in illegal entries. And you might think, oh, maybe it's conflict in foreign countries, right, that is explaining those pulses. It's not. Changes in administration, for example, like you said, administrations that are more versus less favorable to immigrants, that has no predictive effect. The only thing that predicts illegal entries through the southern border are unfilled job openings in the US labor market. That is the main predictor. Okay, and it's the only significant predictor. And also, Michael Clemens has done a study showing what I just mentioned, that basically to get what we need, we either let people come in an orderly way, or we kind of let chaos reign and people kind of sneak in, as they say. And when you make more legal pathways available, you allow people to come in an orderly way and have their case adjudicated. The number of illegal entries to the southern border goes down, and it's almost a one-to-one effect. They are perfect substitutes. So the reality is that these people that are coming through irregular channels are providing things that we want and that we need in the economy. We have a little bit of a hypocritical relationship with illegal immigration because we need it desperately. We kind of know, but wink, wink, we don't do anything to fix it. But also, why would these people come and stay permanently if they can't get jobs and they're starving? They would go back to their country, right? So it's a little bit of, it works for both ways, but it would work so much better if we just made legal pathways available, right? And we have good evidence that that's exactly what happens.
Where is that evidence? Is there a specific country you're looking at that has seen success doing this, has seen their economic boom from allowing more immigrants?
Oh, well, so many of them, but the United States is exhibit number one. I mean, we have since from sort of the beginning of at least from when we have good records starting in the late 1800s, showing very clearly those 5 economic gains that I mentioned. I'll give you some numbers that I think are useful. For example, during the early 1900s, when we had our first wave of mass migration from Southern and Eastern Europe and also from Western Europe, there's a lot of evidence showing that immigrants were significantly contributing to new technological innovations in the form of patents, that they were starting businesses at very high rates, that they did a lot to pay the taxes that we needed, that didn't come at the expense of jobs by native workers, et cetera, et cetera. And we have documented the same things during our period of current mass migration, which started around in the early 1970s. So the United States is actually exhibit A for all the economic gains that immigrants bring. The other thing that we've seen, like I said, is we've seen these effects reverse, right? When we have excluded immigration, we have lost those 5 things.
Mm.
And so, it's pretty clear that those benefits exist. And you don't have to be a researcher like me and spend, 20 years studying this. Just go talk to small and medium business owners. Like, it's very, like, go talk to someone who owns a manufacturing business in Wisconsin, as I have done. And these are not, flaming liberals, right, who vote in a particular way. These are very blue collar, down to earth people. And the very first thing they'll tell you is, one, I can't find enough people to fill the positions I need to keep my manufacturing business open. And so they have come to the conclusion, out of sheer practicality, that they need to go out and recruit among immigrant communities. And these workers keep their businesses open. They allow them to pay taxes. They allow them to create jobs. And so this is a practical conclusion. This is not an ideological thing. All of this that I'm telling you comes from empirical evidence. Not, it's not a political statement.